Moving on then to the Mares Hurdle. Again, this is a very interesting one. A lot of kind of movement in the last few weeks. No Benny to do. Brian, what you see in this? There's a lot of horses that are, entered into a few different races. What's your take on the Mares Hurdle?
It's all about the favourite here. I just think Concertista has been a street above all these guys or these mares all season. I think she was very, very good at Christmas. Albeit she's only ran in grade 2s and grade 3s, but I mean, even that race that she won at Fairyhouse that day at the Hatton's Grace meeting, she only won. You can read into it that she won by a length and a quarter, but I mean, she wasn't even asked to do anything. It's as if she just breezed by in the last 50 yards and just picked it up at the end. So it's hard to see. It's like it was a cozy win. So I mean, there was talk of her going for the champion hurdle, reckon that she had the pace. She was an absolute runaway winner of the Mares Novice Hurdle here last season. I mean, she was very, very impressive after being second in it the year before. So I think that course form is probably vital here. I mean, Roxana's entered in this. I don't think she's going to run. I think she'll run in the stairs. I think she's probably better off to take her. She's won this race already. I think she'd be better off to take her go in the Mares. Well, if she runs, it depends. If she runs in this, then she would be a serious competitor to Concertista because she has won this race, albeit that Penny Did You fell and she ran on for it. But in saying that, like she's a good stayer. She'll stay up the hill. But other than that, like there's a couple of these entered in it. Like Ellie May is in there, but she's going to run in the Mare's Chase. I mean, if Penny Did You had been declared for the festival, she was probably going to run in the Mare's Chase as well. So it's hard to know how many of these will go. Like if I was to back one in this race, I'd probably back Great White Shark. I think that I'd forgive him for his run maybe at Goran in the Galmoy. I just think that he just never really found the run of the race under Townend, and there was no really impression turning in. It was her first run since she won the Cesarowitz at Newmarket, and I just think that she seems to pick out form at the best of times. If you go through some of her wins, she had no real form before she even ran in these races. I mean, before she won the Cesarowitz, she won a 2-mile handicap hurdle at Galway. Fair enough, it was competitive, but I mean, before that she was 7th, 3rd Cheltenham last season in the Martin Pipe. So like, it probably reads good enough form coming into this race. I think at 20-1, if you're to back one of them, there's not too many others now that stick out for me in this. I think it's probably one of the weakest Mares Hurdles in a while. It's not like last year where you could have made a case for Honeysuckle or Benny Did You, and the year before and a couple of years ago you had Apples Jade, you had Vroom Vroom Mag, you had Lamini. I just don't think there's no real depth to this. I other than Concertista having an off day, I don't think anything else really stands out. Fernanda Blue, there was talk of her maybe being the next mare to take on Epatone. She's been dismal all season. So I mean, it's will she return to form? I don't know either. So it's a very hard market. I don't think that I think 11-10 is probably solid enough, like at the head of it, you know.
Yeah, I was just going to ask you on 11-10, and Daryl Jacob winning at Cheltenham last year, and Paul Townend's been on Concertista the last couple of times. Do you think even at 11-10, it's as as good as you're going to get from it? Do you think the price is going to drop as the festival looms?
It's hard to know. I'd say she might go off shade odds on maybe 5-6. I think she probably will start even money 5-6, that sort of area. Because I think that she'll be like once these festival accumulators start, she's going to be put into all of them. She's in mine already. So I just think that it's probably solid. 11-10 for a treble. It's a great price. I'm not a real 11-10 backer sort of a person. Like I wouldn't back a horse at 11-10. It wouldn't appeal to me to back a horse at that price. Just because it's the way it is. But I mean, I think that at 11-10, when you're looking at it, it's probably solid. And as I said to you, there's nothing really else in the rest of the field that probably Roxana's probably the only one that stands out off the page when it comes to it. But other than that, now it's hard to make a case for many of these other ones. Maybe the likes of the Glancing Queen, who was fancy for the bumper last year, ran very poorly, but has kind of regained a little bit of form over 2 miles this season. The step up be hard to know, but I mean, I can't really see anything else here. I think 11-10 will be bet in to close to the time.
Dan?
Yeah, funny you say Great White Shark. I just looked at the Galway race again, and Florian Porter was back in third, 9 lengths back in third. And sure, Florian Porter's gone on to win that. I can't remember what they called it, Christmas the Stayers hurdle for and he's a good bet in that potentially. So there's a good bit of substance to that form. Great White Shark, if she's back at a trip that potentially suits her, but Yeah, I actually think Roxana will run here, and not because this is her best trip. It's not. 3 miles is her best trip, so she should be running in the stairs. But like, she's got a penalty kick here to be second behind Concertista, no problem at all if she runs here. There's no way she doesn't. Like, there's no one else really to kind of take on Concertista. So Roxana will probably run here. You could make the argument that, you know, she could, because of her, she's won the race before. Was she third or fourth last year? You know, you could make the argument she's, you know, coming back to the race, she'll run her race. But I definitely think Concertista. I think, like, we probably, maybe everyone underestimated how good she is. The best thing she ever did was getting beaten that Mares Novice hurdle. So she come back the following year and absolutely vault up. And I was so impressed with her this year so far in Leopardstown, that 2.5 mile race. She was unbelievable. Like, and I agree. I think she'll be odds on the day. In fact, I do think she'll be probably one of the most bet in horses, because, like you said, she'll be in all the accumulators. I think Annie Power, the year she fell, went off 1 to 2, or very close to it, having been even money throughout that week. Do you know what I mean? Right up until the accumulator was coming in, and something similar might happen here, Concertista. So yeah, maybe I wouldn't put anyone off throwing her in an ACCA, like Brian said, in terms of, because I do think 11 to 10, like, you know, just because it's a short price doesn't necessarily make it not value. And I do think there's a tad bit of value there, because when I heard Benny Dudu was definitely not going to the Mares Hurdle and she pulled out, I did expect it. I think Constantine's around 11 to 8, and I know Benny wasn't 100% going to the Mares, but I did think that would be come into about, you know, even, you know, potentially odds on, and the fact it hasn't, it surprised me a little bit. So yeah, I wouldn't put you off Concertista. And yeah, there's not much else to add. Sometimes I think she's a really, really good mare, and I do think she could potentially dominate this race for a few years to come. Yeah. So
Yeah, Roxana was 4th in 2020, and this year